Hello everybody. So today we're going to talk about combining like terms and applying distributive property to solve two-step equations. Some of these are 2 or 3 steps, but the principles apply. We will see some combining like terms and applying the distributive property. So let's check some out here. So on this one we have 6x minus 2 parentheses x plus 4 equal to 12. So I'm first going to distribute -2. Think of that minus 2, the negative in front. I know it says minus 2, but if you think of it as a negative, the terms will work a little better. I get minus 2x minus 8 equals 12. 6x minus 2x, like terms, that becomes a 4x. So I have 4x minus 8 equals 12. I need to add this 8 to the other side. That gives me 20. I'm left with 4x equals 20. X is being multiplied by 4, so we do the opposite of multiply by 4. We divide by 4. 20 divided by 4, 5. 5 is our answer, but keep in mind you can always check by taking your answer and substituting it back in for the variable in your original equation to see if it works that way. Let's have another look at a different problem. So this one is 16 minus 2 equal to -2c minus 6 minus 3c. We got simplification on both sides. 16 minus 2, that becomes a 14. On the right side, the c's go together. I have a -2c and a -3c. Think of that as a -5c. Still have the minus 6. What I need to do next is get the -5c term isolated. So I need to add 6 to both sides. Remember, we do it to both sides to keep the equation balanced. 20 equals -5c. c is being multiplied by -5, so I'm going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to divide by -5 on both sides. Gives me an answer of c equal to -4. Remember, you can always check again by putting -4 up into the c's if you want to verify that your answer is correct. Alright, let's have a look at another one. This time we have decimals involved. 5.5 parentheses d minus 2 equals -12.1. We take the -5.5, distribute it. -5.5 times d plus -5.5 times -2, that's a positive 11, because a negative times a negative, positive. We're still equal to -12.1. At this point, I'm trying to get the -5.5d alone, so I need to subtract away the 11 from both sides. Think of that as 11.0, so you see it a little better. -5.5d now equals -23.1. You can think of, on the right side of the equation there, that they're two negatives, so we're adding them together. If you thought of it as subtraction, keep in mind that all subtraction is adding the opposite. So however you think about it, it comes up -23.1. Final step, divide both sides by -5.5. And I'll use a calculator to help us out. Know that a negative divided by a negative is a positive. Don't have to write the plus sign. But 23.1 divided by 5.5, 4.2, positive. Look at another one here. This time we have a fraction, and we're distributing a fraction. 3/5 multiplied by r minus 7 equals 1. We're taking the 3/5 and we are going to distribute it. So then we have 3/5 r minus 21 over 5. To help you see that multiplication, it may help to write 7 as a fraction by saying 7 over 1, and we're equal to 1. Now there are two ways to approach this problem. I will show both ways. The first way is we'll keep the fractions intact, and in order to get r by itself, we first need to add 21/5 to both sides. So I'll show that over here. 3/5 r, add the 21/5 to both sides. So then we have 1 plus 21 over 5. To add the fractions on the right, I should probably write 1 as 5 over 5. Then I can safely add it to 21 over 5. That gives me 26 over 5. Alright, and then I have not done anything with 3/5 r yet. I will here in a minute. This is equal to 26 over 5. Now, at this point we need to get r by itself. You can get rid of the fraction by multiplying by its reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3/5 is 5/3, and if I do it to the left, I have to do it to the right. Reciprocals, fractions multiplied together, we say they cancel out, but they really become the number 1. So 1r, don't have to write 1. r is equal to, over here on the right side, yeah, we could multiply across, but I see a 5 in the numerator, I see a 5 in the denominator, cancels out, becomes 1, both of them. 26 over 3. 26 over 3 can be written as 8 2/3 because 3 goes into 26. 8 times 26 minus the 24 that we get, 2 left over, 2/3. So that's one way to get it. Another way is to, I'm going to rewrite the problem here as we had before we split it up. We could eliminate the fractions, and you eliminate fractions in an equation by multiplying every single item by the LCD, the lowest common denominator. If you see, the only denominator in this is a 5. So if I take 5, multiply everything by it, my fractions will eliminate. Let's see how this works here. Alright, 3/5 times 5. The 5's sort of go away. Think of it as 3r. 21 over 5. The 5's cancel out. I'm left with 21. But then 5 times the 1 here gives me a 5. Now I have 3r equals 3r minus 21 equals 5. I need to add 21 to both sides. 3r equals 26. Divide both sides by 3. And if you look, we're getting the same answer that we did over on the left side. 26 over 3 can be written as 8 2/3. So there's two ways to approach the same problem with fractions. You can handle the fractions directly like I did on the left, or you can get rid of the fractions like I did on the right. I think I have one more here. Yep. 1.2w plus 5 in parentheses equals 3. We will distribute the 1.2w, the 1.2 to the w and the 5. 1.2 times 5 gives me a 6. And then I want to subtract 6 from both sides. 3 minus 6, negative 3. 1.2w. I'm going to divide by 1.2 on both sides. Use a calculator to help with that. Negative 3 divided by 1.2. Negative 2.5 is our answer. You can always check by taking your answer and going back up to the top and putting it in for the variable.